In this video we're going to review what we've done in class on standard form. This is the basic introduction to and doesn't include word problems, but nonetheless, here we go. So, standard form. It's a consistent way to write large and small numbers. Okay, we write numbers in the following form: a times 10 to the n. Now on your sheet, write down the possible values for a and the possible values for n, and pause the video. So a should be a number between 1 and 10. It can be 1, but it can't be 10. And n just can be an integer. It could be positive or negative, but it has to be a whole number. Okay, so these numbers are written in standard... Well, these numbers are examples. Okay, and just make a note of the two numbers that are not in standard form. So the... Okay, we can look at how we change the numbers to be in ordinary form. So next to each number, maybe write down what it is in ordinary form, and then pause the video and I'll tell you what they are. So this first number here is 210,000. If you think about it, we've moved that decimal point 5 places. Okay, this one here, well, we're going to move the decimal point 6 places. Okay, so we could write 315 and then work out that we've moved it 6 places, put all the zeros in, and that's how we could write it in standard form. These numbers are the two numbers that are not written in standard form. So if we had a question where we had to write it in standard form, what you might do first, you could write these in ordinary form first, this one being 45 with 11 zeros. This one here, and then this number 45 with 11 zeros is 4.5 times 10 to the 12. Okay. This number here, 0.9 times 10 to the minus 7, is going to be, well, we're going to move the decimal point 7 places. Okay, put all the zeros in. So this number is 0.9 times 10 to the minus 7. Okay. If we think about what it is in standard form, well, we're going to have to move it one more place, so it's 9 times 10 to the minus 8. Okay? The reason they weren't in standard form is because 45 and 0.9 are not between 1 and 10, and 4.5 and 9 are between 1 and 10. Okay? Another way to change a number that's not in standard form, in thinking about it slightly differently, is to change 45 to 4.5. We've divided by 10, so to change 10 to the power of 11 to 10 to the power of 12, we have to times by 10 to make sure that the number at the end is the same as the number we started with. Similarly, this one, from 0.9 to 9, we times by 10. So what do we have to do from 10 to the minus 7 to 10 to the minus 8 in order to keep the number the same size? Well, we have divided by 10. Okay, we're now going to look at some multiplication division problems which we've done in class. So these are on your sheet. You can try them and then check you're right on the video. Here we have 7 times 8 times 10 to the power of 8 times 12 times 10 to the power minus 23. Okay, because we can do multiplication in any order, we can do 7 times 12, which is 84, times by, and 10 to the 8 times 10 to the minus 23, well, that ends up being 10 to the minus 15, because we can add the indices, because it's multiplying and they're the same base. 84 times 10 to the minus 15, well, that's not in standard form, so we can use the technique from earlier. We're going to change this to 8.4. Okay, that's dividing it by 10, so I have to times this by 10 to give me 10 to the minus 14. Dividing by 10, timesing by 10. Excellent. Looking at a division problem, you should have already done this, so if you haven't, paused the video now. Okay, so this is the question. 4.5 divided by 9 is 0.5. 10 to the 12 divided by 10 to the negative 8. Well, we subtract the indices. 12 take away negative 8 is 10 to the power of 20. Okay, 0.5 is not in standard form because it's not between 1 and 10, so we change it so it is. So this becomes 5, so we've timesed it by 10. So we're going to divide this by 10 to make sure the number is the same size. 10 to the 20 divided by 10, well, that's dividing by 10 to the power of 1. We subtract the indices. 20 take away 1 is times 10 to the power of 19. Okay, a quick note, which is what we looked at today in lesson as well, is that if you have to add or subtract numbers in standard form where you can't, So what you do is you turn them into ordinary form first. Okay, that's what you do, turn it into ordinary form first. Example, 3 times 10 to the 7 plus 2 times 10 to the 5. Okay, you can't add these yet, you have to turn them into ordinary form. This becomes 30 million plus 200,000. 30 million plus 200,000 is 30 million and 200,000, surprisingly enough. Turning this into standard form becomes 3.02 times 10 to the 7. Okay? Right, so that is standard form. If you have any more problems with this, let me know. You also, for homework, should be doing the worded questions, so make sure that's complete for me, please. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.